Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining on time. Guys, we will wait for 1 2 more minutes. Let others join, then we will start this session. Okay, now we will start our today's session. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Aarti, and I will be your host for this exciting session. Whether you are connecting from your workplace, home, or somewhere in between, we are really glad you could make time to join our webinar. Okay, before we get deeper into our conversation, I would like to know where you are turning from. Please feel free to type your location in the chat, guys. You can write down your location from where you are. It will be a great for us to see the reach of our community. Also, if you are comfortable, please let us know that you are first time attending our webinar or you are already in our learning process. Okay, let me take a moment to introduce who we are and what we do. We are Idigisys AWS courses training provider dedicated to helping people to unlock the power of AWS. Our team is passionate about practical, hands-on AWS learning and has guided hundreds of professionals as they are prepared for certification and real-world cloud challenges. We believe that anyone can master cloud skills with the right guidance and support, and we are here to ensure your learning experience is both engaging and impactful. Okay, now it's time to introduce our today's guest and expert trainer, Miss Rima. She is certified technical instructor with 8 years of experience in training and solutioning for organization of all sizes. Known for dynamic teaching style, she deep technical knowledge. She has a unique way of breaking down complex concepts into real-world application. Whether you are a beginner or seeking clarity or an advanced learner, you are excellent hands in today. You will get your queries and everything will be solved here. In this session, Ms. Rima will walk us through essential AWS cloud security, share insider tips, and answer your question in a live Q&A session. So, get ready to take notes and participate. Your questions are always welcome. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Ms. Rima to lead our AWS webinar on cloud security. Ms. Rima, hand over to you. You can start.
Thank you so much, Aarti, for this wonderful introduction. Hey, folks, a very good evening to one and all who has joined this webinar. How are you doing? I could see a number of people in the chat box. I would request everyone to write a message in the chat box that you have access to the chat window so that you can put your questions or queries in that. Okay. All right. So a quick check that I'm audible to you. You can write one for yes and two for no, or simply yes or no. That would be great. All right. So I'm getting a few answers. So, folks, anytime, this is a webinar, still I want you folks to interact, okay? Not via unmuting your mic because that might not be available. That option might not be available, but still you have access to the chat box and you can let me know about your, whether you are liking it via this quick thumbs up, okay? If you are getting the concepts or not, okay? If I'm too fast or too slow while explaining, let me know. All right. I hope the pace is fine. So let's get started with today's topic. Just allow me a second. Let me know, folks, whether you can see the presentation. All right. So our today's topic is security in cloud. So are you aware about that, folks? What is security? Security is paramount in cloud. So those who are already aware about the basic concepts of cloud, they would be able to understand it better. Okay. But if you are not aware, if you are a fresher, okay, I might be taking names and might be talking about the features of different services provided by our different cloud service providers. Do not get worried. Okay, have a general understanding about the concepts, and once you will diving deep into the concepts, it will be easier for you to understand. All right, so let's get started with security in cloud. So this is our agenda. We will be understanding what is security, okay, and why it is important while you are working in the cloud. Okay, so we will understand what are the key areas of cloud security, that where the security needs to be implemented. Okay, can you think of any solution, okay, which is without security or where you can compromise security? Definitely no. Okay, not in in hybrid environment, not in private cloud. So it is paramount. Okay, we have to have deal with the security. Okay, then we will understand about the different practices and the services one should be knowing to secure your cloud resources. If you have attended the once you are working in the cloud, you have deployed your resources in the cloud, you have you are going to access it over the internet. You have to provide the access to different users, but that too again in a limited edition, isn't it? In limited way. We will talk about the best practices that one should be aware about while you are maintaining security. Okay, and you are working in the cloud. Then there will be a live Q&A session where you can ask your queries in the chat box and I'll be there to answer them. So simply starting with cloud security. Okay, so you must have heard about CIA tried. Okay, what is CIA? CIA stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Okay, just leave the cloud word for some time and let's talk about security first. Okay, so like everybody is going to lock the house or the room while you are leaving your home, isn't it? So why? Because we do not want any unauthorized person to get enter, isn't it? But if you have two keys, for example, your mother, your father, or maybe your siblings have a key, another key. Okay, so who is that person? That person is authenticated. Okay, that person is an authorized person who has the access, okay, who has the particular key to open the lock. You have given the privileges, kind of. Okay, so security is very, very important. So um, what is cloud security? It refers to the technologies, the policies, the practices designed to protect your data. Okay. Now you will ask, like, actually, what is there in the cloud that you are hosting? It could be your data. It could be your applications which are running on EC2 instances. Okay. It could be your Lambda functions. Okay. You might be storing the data on EBS volumes. Okay. Maybe it's your database server. Okay. And the different infrastructure, the network that you have created in the cloud. So you have to protect it. And how you can protect it? Via different policies that you are going to apply and the practices that you have designed. Okay. Then how you are going to ensure the security in the cloud? That is, you have to maintain the confidentiality. What is confidentiality? For example, if you have a point A and point B and you want to send a message from here to here, okay, when you will say the message is confidentially sent, if you are writing hello and it has been received by the person at the B point in the same way, and that too without getting the security breached. Okay, what is integrity? That the message has not been changed in between by any third person. Okay. And what is availability? Availability means when you want to use the resources, those are available. Okay. So if you have the understanding about the cloud advantages, then you know that you have access to most available resources or the services. All right. So what is cloud security? In that you are going to understand what is governance. Okay. So there are multiple compliance rules that you must be aware about, or that your cloud is already compliant with, so it makes your task easier as compared to managing everything in the private environment. Okay. Now you know that you are working in the cloud environment, you have to provide access to the different people. Okay, how will you do that? You know, there is a principle or a best practice called principle of least privileges. Just provide the access which is required to complete a particular task, and that is done via a service called identity and access management, in short IAM. Now you are hosting your data. Your data might be available at rest or in transit. You want to secure it. So you are going to handle the security of your data, and you want to make your resources available. Okay. Then there is DRBC planning. What is DR? Disaster recovery and business continuity. And you have to plan for it. Okay. How security will be deployed? That is what we will discuss soon. Coming to the next slide, like, why cloud security is important? What do you think? Why it is important, folks? Can I get a few answers in the chat box? Why it is important? Okay. We don't want to lose our data. Okay. To protect our data from unauthorized access. Okay. So if you have stored some confidential data, maybe the banking related information, some very personal photographs. Okay. You do not want anybody to have access to that. You are going to protect it. Okay. So either it is offline, or if you are using any cloud service provider or cloud services, it means you are using third party services. Okay. And how can you trust, okay, the third parties? When I ask you, like, you have Google Drive, isn't it? You have Google Drive, you use iCloud and other third party services to store data. How can you trust that they are not going to share that information, and they are following all the security standards, and they are encrypting your data, not making any copies? How you have that trust, folks? How that trust is built? Basically, that's the question. Why? Because they are compliant with most of the security related standards. Okay, so being an individual organization, you might not be able to follow hundreds of standards for different countries, for different, trades, uh, and the domain of different businesses. For example, I'll start with the compliance requirements. So different industries have often need to comply with the regulations. It could be according to the particular industry, like healthcare, HIPAA, or it could be related to one particular country, for example European Union. Then you have to be compliant with the GDPR, Global Data Protection Regulatory, and ISO, International Standards Organization. Okay, you must be aware about the standards. You must have seen on different companies portals the information that they are compliant with the ISO 2700 or 1 and other standards. You must have seen, like, while on the payment gateways, PCI DSS standard being followed. Okay, so you and you how you, the trust is being built because they are compliant. So there are third parties. Okay, they have fulfilled their bare minimum requirements, and they are audited by them, and then only they are there in that business particularly. Then we will talk about the shared responsibility model. While you are working in the cloud, it's between the responsibility is shared between you and your CSP. So here your cloud service provider I'm talking about is Amazon Web Services. And then you, being a client, would be responsible for a few things. There is a complete line between your responsibilities and the cloud service provider responsibilities, and that makes it more secure. Okay, so then scalability and accessibility. The environment are more scalable from anywhere. Why do you store data in the cloud? Because no matter wherever location you are at, okay, you can have access to your documents, the data that you have stored in the cloud anytime, anywhere. We call it as a concept of ubiquitous computing, isn't it? So that although it is going to increase the potential of attack, but because the cloud is built in such a way, okay, that it is going to reduce that. Then comes the business continuity. Okay. So what is business continuity? 24 by 7 availability of the resources. Do you think that the cloud service providers are not going to face any challenges? Definitely. Okay, business continuity is going to protect different organizations from different data breaches, downtime, and financial losses. Why? Because they have a complete plan. Okay, the plan which is talking about the disaster recovery, the business continuity. If there would be a disaster, how you are going to bring your data back? Okay, do you have the backups? Okay, and where you are going to store those backups, how quickly you can be back once a disaster has hit you? Okay, so all the terms like recovery time objective, recovery point of objective, those are already defined. Okay, I hope that is clear why security is important. Now coming to the point, shared responsibility model, we recently talked about it. Okay, so it is going to define that for what task my cloud service provider is responsible for, and for which task client, me being a customer of that particular cloud service provider, is responsible for. Now talking about cloud service provider as AWS. So when there are two terms you must be aware about, one is the security of the cloud. I'm underlining this, very important. Security of the cloud is the responsibility of your cloud service provider. Here in this case, it's responsibility of AWS. Why? Because where the infra is hosted, that is hosted in the data centers. Do you have access to the data center? You will say no. Nobody has. Okay, only the authorized people who are working there or responsible for some task are given limited access. Not you, me, or any other organization who is user of this service provider is going to have access to it. So all the hardware devices, the global infrastructure, the regions, the availability zone, edge locations are under control of cloud service provider. Then comes the compute. Actually, your EC2 or the virtual instances are hosted on the compute resources. Okay. Actually, in the data centers, there are physical servers. Okay. On those physical servers, we call them as host, and you are going to create your different EC2 instances. Those are in the virtual form. But who is going to secure this hardware resources? It's the responsibility of your cloud service provider. In the same way, the hard disk, the database servers, or all the network related equipments are the responsibility of cloud service provider. And then comes the softwares. The virtualization layer is also the responsibility of your CSP. Now, coming to the customer as a cloud service user. So, security in the cloud is the term that you must be aware about, that it's the responsibility of client. Okay. So, any data that client is going to store in the on using the services provided by cloud service provider is client's responsibility. How you are providing access, any application that you are hosting, if you are using IAM, what sort of permissions or policies that you have attached with the users is also client's responsibility. Okay. Configuration of network and firewall configuration. Okay. So while you are creating or working with the VPC, then you are also managing that who can have access, what sort of traffic is allowed in the network via the security group or the network ACLs. Okay. That is the responsibility of client only. Okay. So operating system patch, if you are using unmanaged services, is also the responsibility of client. Okay. So that is going to reduce the most of the responsibility of customer if you are working in the cloud model as compared to the hybrid, or sorry, private network. Okay. Going further, we have key areas of cloud security. Now you will ask, like, where to implement the security? Okay, we have to manage or implement security at multiple layers. Okay, so when we talk about cloud security, it's a layered approach. I will showcase you. Okay, so first thing, you must be managing identity and access. Okay, like who has access to which resources or what resources. Okay, if you have created an EC2, oh sorry, so if you have created an EC2 instance or an S3 bucket or a DB server, okay, or a SQS queue, who can have access to it? That is going to be managed by you as a customer. So that will be managed via the, while you are creating your users, roles, groups, what sort of permissions you are attaching. Okay, we'll talk about data protection, like the data that you are going to store in the S3 buckets or EBS volumes, how you are going to protect it. Then we have the network security. While you are configuring your network, what sort of traffic could reach to one or the other resources that you are going to manage. Now, if you want to audit, okay, audit a regular audit, or in case of a event has happened, okay, in that case, monitoring and logging tools are very, very important. Another thing you must be aware about is compliance and governance. Okay. Sixth point talks about disaster recovery and business continuity. In case of there is a disaster, there is a man-made, natural, or human mistake. Okay, due to that there is a disaster. You might lose your access to your data, something like that. Then how you are going to continue with your business? Okay, that is what we are going to discuss. Starting with securing your compute resources. This is one of the thing that I have showcased here, but you must be aware about, like, while you are creating your EC2 instance, there is something called as key pair. Have you heard about it earlier? Key pair. Okay. Every locks come with a key, isn't it? Yes, folks. Just a second. All right. I assume that the screen is visible to everybody. Can you write one in the chat box if it is visible? All right. Thank you. So key pair. Okay. So if you have created an EC2 instance that is deployed in a VPC, okay, what sort of traffic from the outside world could, reach to your instance is decided by one thing, that is security group. Okay. So we will talk about it. Where this key pair is associated, that is associated to your EC2 instance, that who has created it, who has authorization to this instance, that would be decided by this key pair, okay, that you create while you create your instance, okay. So there is a public and private key pair. Whosoever is having a private key will be able to have access to it. But from the outside world, what sort of traffic could go, and inbound and outbound traffic, okay, how that is decided, that is decided via the security group. That is a kind of firewall around your EC2 instance. Okay, here you are going to define the rules, the inbound rules, that if you know port 80 is open for HTTP type of traffic, and you are also going to define that from where the traffic can come. Okay, it could be from my IP only, if you want that only your instance should be able to communicate with this instance, or you can open it for everybody by mentioning 0.0/0.0, or you can mention a particular CIDR range, that number of IPs which can have interaction with this instance. Okay, if you are not mentioning, if you are not enabling this rule, for example port number 80 for HTTP, or 443 for HTTPS, or maybe SSH at port number 22, that means not any sort of traffic would be reaching here. All right, so that is how you can manage that what type of traffic could go and inbound and go outside. Then comes another layer of security in the virtual private cloud, that is called as NACL. Okay, so NACL stands for Network Access Control List. Okay, so there you have inbound and outbound rules, and you have two options, either you can allow or deny. Okay, and they have no direct connection between each other. You have to explicitly mention the type of traffic that can go inside, inbound, or go outbound. Okay, so your NACL is implemented or associated at the subnet level. Okay, here at the subnet level. Okay, there will be a default one, but you can also create your custom NACL. Okay, next comes the chaining of security groups. If you want to increase the security in a three-tier architecture or two-tier architecture, then you can manage it via chaining of the security groups. Now, if I ask you, if you have a web server, this server needs to be accessed from the outside world. Like anybody from the internet should be able to access your web server. For example, it is hosting some example.com website. Okay, so it should be accessible to everybody. What sort of rule you are going to add, that anybody from the internet should be able to access it over port number 80, traffic would be HTTP. Maybe you have given it a name as web server underscore SG. Okay, now you have the app servers in the private subnet. Now you want that this instance should only entertain the traffic which is coming from this web server. So you can chain that only the traffic which is coming from web server security group should be entertained by this app server. And who should be having action connection with the database? The traffic which is coming from the app server security group, not from anyone outside the from the internet should be able to directly access it. This is not possible, and not even the web server security group would be able to make request to access the database. Why? Because I have allowed only at the port number 3306 to make connection via the traffic which is coming from the app server. So this is also going to enhance the security of your network. Is this clear, folks? Can I get a quick confirmation via quick thumbs up? If you have any question, query related to it, you can post it in the group. Now, coming to the next level, that is securing your data in the cloud. Okay, so you have data, whether it is stored in S3 bucket, either in EBS volumes or in the database. Okay, you are going to AWS provides you the encryption option. The encryption is available at rest and in transit as well. What do you mean by at rest? When it is stored on, like it is going to be there for longer period of time, like stored on your disk, in the databases, in the S3 bucket, and it is following one of the securest, standard, advanced encryption standard 256. And while it is in transit, you are sending it from point A to point B or from region 1 to region 2, you are going to encrypt your data while it is being transferred as well. Okay, so you are going to, and while it is being transferred, it is on the public network, and that is not that secure. There are bad actors as well who want to have access to the data. If you are sending it in the plain text or in a not very secure way, it could be compromised. So what TLS SSL does, it creates a complete uh, secure tunnel over the public network to move your data from one location to another. Then we have identity and access management. Via using the resource based policies on your S3 bucket, you can provide access, you can create backup solutions. We have multiple services that we might discuss in some other day. Okay, then you can have Glacier. Okay, then you have AWS backup services. Okay, then we have different monitoring and logging tools like Cloud Trail. Okay, I'm not going into the details, but you should be aware about that AWS provides you such services. You can use CloudWatch, who whatever actions is being taken, those are going to be stored in the form of logs at any point of time. Once you want to audit, you can do that because you are collecting the data. Okay, now there comes a nightmare to any organization, that is DDoS. Have you ever heard about it? What DDoS stands for, folks? No? Okay, so DDoS stands for distributed denial of service. Denial of service. Okay, let's understand this. So what happened in case of DDoS attack? So we have some legitimate users, okay, who actually are the customers of this particular targeted website. Okay, and they genuinely want to access this website. And then we have the attacker as well, who do not, maybe it's a rival company or someone who has some grudges with this website, or the one who is just checking for fun whether he wants to bring this service down. Okay, now what this person does, actually, he is controlling multiple bots which are going to send different HTTP GET request to this website. Now you know that any web server will have a limited capacity to handle number of requests per second. Okay, suppose this server has a capacity of 1000, but all of a sudden from all over the world, the compromised bots or the controlled bots are going to send requests to this particular website, and that too without any actual need. Okay, now till 1000 it is not going to be down, but after that, maybe right now the capacity reaches to 2000 requests per second. It means it is really overwhelming for the server and it is not able to handle those requests. It is not going to send back the response. Okay, but these are the fake users. Okay, and their objective is to bring this server down so that the legitimate people should not be able to have or avail this service. That is called as denial of service. Okay, and while you are planning, while being a solution architect, your responsibility is to create such type of solution which is not having any single point of failure. Okay, so the service which provides you from such type of attack is called AWS Shield. So Shield comes in two variation. One is the standard, which is by default available on all the accounts. You do not need to explicitly enable it. Another one is the advanced Shield, which is a paid service and you have to pay a hefty amount to be using this service. Okay, but it is going to protect you from the layer 7 attacks, but the standard one is going to protect you from network and transport layer attacks we call sync flood or UDP reflection attacks, which are protected by Shield. Okay, next comes the AWS Firewall Manager. Now you would be thinking like it's not limited to such services only. There is a great list of services and features which comes with the different services to protect your data to your network to the communication that is happening over the cloud. Okay, in your resources. So if you want to manage them centrally, then you have this service available called AWS Firewall Manager. Okay, so the services like web application firewall, VPC security groups, NACLs, advanced shield, the network firewall, all can be managed from the one single service called AWS Firewall Manager. Then comes a kind of secure architecture, that how a layered architecture from security point of view look like. Okay, so our, if you see here, our objective is to have access to this EC2 instance. Okay, that is our objective. There are different users. Okay, now it can be a legitimate user as well, and it could be an attacker as well. Okay, we never know. So once this user wants to have access to this EC2 instance, it has to go through from all these layers that we have created here. Okay, so first thing, it will go and it would be checked at the AWS Shield level whether it is a legitimate user to have access to the network resources or not. Then you have Route 53 as well, then web application firewall. If all these resources find that it's a legitimate user, it will forward the request to the next level inside the VPC. Then you have the proxy server kind of, which is elastic load balancer. You are not exposing your resources directly. You have created a load balancer which is going to have access, is going to take the request and is going to forward the request to the most available resources. And here as well, okay, while it is on the VPC, there could be a network firewall. Okay, and then at the subnet level, there could be a NACL. Okay, and once you are reaching to the instance level, there is a security group which is going to protect you from, like if whether it, which is checking like whether this traffic should be allowed or denied. Okay, so security is always a layered approach. Okay, so you have to think at each and every point where it could be implemented, how there should be no single point of failure left. Okay, then comes the point, well architected framework. You must have heard about it. We call it as WAF framework as well, well architected framework. There are 6 pillars. Security is paramount. So I am basically focusing on this point. It says like it has some design principles. What those design principles says, that apply security at all the layers and always enforce people with the principle of least privilege. Only provide the access which is required to complete the task, not more than that, not less than that. And try to implement MFA. Have you ever heard about MFA? Multi-factor authentication. Two-step verification should be implemented so that if one step, first step is compromised, still you have the other one, which is very difficult to break basically. Then you have other, pillars which talk about cost optimization, reliability, performance efficiency, operational excellence, and sustainability. All right. Then comes the best practices. One should be knowing about it. Okay. Um, you must be aware about different services that you are using, the security related features that are there, and the things that you should be implementing as an organization. You should be having a regular security assessments and penetration testing. Keep all the softwares and operating system updated. There should be no loophole left there. Okay, train your teams on security awareness. Okay, if anybody is joining, is not aware, you must be training them so that they are not a point of failure for you, the resources, that your organization is using. All right. Then comes the use security automation and AI for threat detection. I haven't mentioned multiple services. Okay, we might be discussing in continuation to this webinar only about other services whenever we get time or chance to discuss them. I'm happy to do that. Okay, so there we can discuss about the services like guard duty, inspector, and multiple other ML or AI based tools where which are going to help you to protect your resources and to automate the security as well, because it's very difficult to manage the security and checking it manually. Okay, so this is all about security in the cloud. It's not all about the security, but the major things that one must be aware about, like if you want to start with the security. Okay, in most of the examination, they have a particular section where they will test your knowledge on the security domain as well. No matter it's a fundamental exam, no matter it's a associate or specialty level exam as well. Okay, so you must be aware about it. So folks, I'll take a pause here. If you would be having any question or query related to the topics we have discussed, any doubt you have related to this topic or maybe other services, you can let me know. You can post your queries there. So is it a beginning for starting a cloud computing? I got a question from Adarsha. Okay, so Adarsha, if you want to start your career or you want to start your cloud learning journey, then you can start with the cloud practitioner level understanding. That is the fundamentals. Okay, once you are aware about what these services are, where to use them, how to use them, then you can go one step ahead. Okay. Unfortunately, the recordings are not available. I don't think so, but I think the team from Idigisys would be the right person to answer this. Please note this question. Maybe you can answer this in the end. Any other technical query, folks? You got the understanding? If you are still listening, can I get a quick reaction, like a thumbs up? That would be giving me a confirmation that we can proceed ahead, folks. Yes, it is a cyber attack where, the attacker is controlling multiple bots and using those bots to send multiple requests to that particular targeted server. It's a cyber attack only. Yes, you're right, Rupavani. All right, so let's proceed ahead, folks. If you have listened to the webinar attentively, then this is a surprise for you, folks. Just quickly scan this. I'm going to post one link in the chat box as well to attend a quiz. Okay. I would be waiting for another 1 minute. Those who are there and listening, please join this. And I'm gonna start this quiz, and you folks will be able to join it. So, folks, I'm gonna share my screen once again. Hold on. When it comes to advanced security related services, Shield is one of that. Then you can have access to the different support plans. We have services like Trusted Advisor. You can go through the WAF security pillar. Okay, that is also there. Then related to each and every service, like there are different security features. Other than that, if you want to manage security from a central point of view, then you can go through we have a service like the net firewall manager. Okay, i'm wait I'll be waiting for another 30 seconds. I could see like around 16 participants including me, like 15 are there at least. So there's a surprise gift for you as well. Okay, so there are 10 people. I'm gonna start with the quiz. So ready folks, let's get started. You will see the next question on your screen in 2 seconds. You have 40 seconds to answer this question. I'm going to stop my screen share so that you can focus on your own screen and answer the questions. First three winners would be getting some exciting offer. Like, all right. 70% people given the correct answer, 30% did it wrong. Next question on your screen in next 5 minutes, seconds. Okay, diverse answers. Next question. Adarsha, just try accessing it once again and let me know if you are able to. I am afraid like you will be only able to enter once only. Otherwise, you can pay attention to the questions and try to answer on your own. All right, I got answers. Okay, you want to see the scanner? Folks, just hold on. Uh, can you scan it? Otherwise, the link is there in the chat box. You can access it from there as well. Isn't it there? Yeah, I've shared it. Okay. So next question. I hope you must have seen this while you are, every day. Next question, folks. Don't lose hope. All right. So question number 8 on your screen. Last question, folks. I think it's not that hard, or is the most hardest question. All right, let's 5 more seconds and then I'm gonna end this quiz. All right, so we got our winners. Is my screen visible, folks? So these are the 3 participants who have top in the quiz. Rest of you, don't lose heart. Maybe you can make it in the next webinar. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this was session that you have enjoyed, you have learned something. Let me know your feedback in the chat box. Thank you so much for joining this session. Thank you so much, Idigisys team, for inviting me. Over to you, Aarti and Ayush. Thank you.
Thank you, Rima, and thank you for all the participants, and congratulations to the guys who have won this quiz. Right. So let me take you through our website if you want to visit, and you can check our courses which are available. Right. So just if you can type and scroll down in the website, idigisys.com, if you can. Yeah, this is our website, and you can check out here our courses. You can go through the all courses section, and you can see 4 courses are available on the website. So the MRP, the main thing is price of the courses. Not visible. Okay, 1 second. Guys, the screen is visible to you. I have shared the screen. वहाँ पे करो ना यार. वो वाली, वो वाली. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the cloud practitioner. Have you guys, logged into the website? No one is picking up this. Just go through the cloud practitioner courses, and you can see that is the cloud practitioner, and we have given the module over here and all the details about the course. That is very slow. Here you can see the detail about the course, and if you want to purchase this course, this is for the this is for the beginners only, and it's a fundamental course. This will help you grow in the advanced level and the associate level. So go through the enrollment section if you want to buy it. We have heavy discount on this course also. That is up to 45%. And if you are interested, you can ping us on our WhatsApp number, and we will provide you the coupons. Right. So you can go through the course. You can select the batch date, whichever date you want. If you want any custom date, then custom batch, you can come to us with at least with your friends and all, so that we can create a custom batch for you. Right. So the next batch is going to start on 19th July and it will end up by 27th of July, right? And the next one is starting on 2nd of August. So it all depends on you, whichever batch you want to purchase and you want to get enrolled in. Now, if I select the 19th July and I can add it to the cart. So for the process, as you know, it is same as like all the e-commerce websites. You can add it to the cart and you can apply the coupons here, and you can proceed further to the checkout. Right. So the next course is certified. It was certified solution architect, which is the associate level course, and that is basically 20,000 plus GST. But still, we have 45% off on this course also. Means the 45% off is for all the courses which we have, and the process would be the same to buy it. You can add it to the cart and you can proceed for the checkout and all. Right. The module and the details about the courses are given here, and you can go through it and you can check it. Right. And I have shared the social media links of our Idigisys pages and profiles. You can click on it and you can like, subscribe, and follow each and every page. I would like to request all if you can go to the links and just do the process. Can you please go through all the social media pages which I have provide the link for? Please follow, like, and subscribe. Yeah, let's move on to the courses again. So these two are the fundamental courses again, and that is technical essential. AWS technical essential. That is for the just beginners, means they don't know anything, technicalities and other things about the clouds and the network infrastructure and all. So this is for the people who are very much novice, you can say. And another one is AI practitioner, that is related to the AI, fundamentals of AI and all. So you can go through and just check out all the details about the AI and machine learning. So these are the four courses we have. If you are interested, you can just go to the website and purchase it. And we have coupons also, discount coupons, where you can apply. So means if you have any further queries, you can ask us. I am waiting for 1 to 2 minutes. So let me take you to the offers. This is the technical essentials player, and we are providing 40%, 45% off, and you can show your interest and buy it through our website. Right. And we have other courses also. The AI practitioner. Still, we have 45% off on this also. We have solution architect. We have 45% off on this also. Right. So this 45% off discount applies to all the courses. Yeah, one more thing. We have placement assistance to the people who want to enroll in our course, and if they want the placement assistance, we can provide. We have our partner companies, vendors, and further sister concerns also. Like we get hiring offers from there also. So if you complete the course from our IDGSys, so we can help you to get placed in those
Hey
companies. We can
Ayush,
conduct the
Ayush,
yeah. Yes, yes.
Ayush, I think we can wind it up because all the people are from our organization only in the session right now. Thank you so much for
Okay,
hosting it
okay,
very
perfect.
well.
Sure, sure. Okay, fine. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Ravindra sir. Thank you,
Thank
Ayush.
you.
Thank you, Anshu.
Okay, okay, fine.
Okay, bye bye.
Fine.